Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I decided I would do a video for September 11. I didn't realise that they were going to be running the film World Trade Center, which just finished like a minute ago, it made me cry like a bitch, so of course I'm still... it was pretty good. I saw it in the cinema. I didn't remember it being as good as it was. And I've always felt... what's the name of the actor? Nicolas Cage. I always thought he was a bit overrated, but he was really good in this. Yeah, it's weird. 20 years. I mean, everyone remembers where they were when September 11 happened. Like, there's not a lot of things in life that you can say that. Like, there was, where were you when there was a moon landing? Where were you when JFK was shot? The first one I lived through was, where were you when Princess Diana died? And the second one was September 11. I'm not sure how many more there are, but it was weird. I saw the initial broadcast because in Australia it was, what time was it? It was 10, I can't remember. In America it was 8:46 a.m. when the first plane hit. In Australia that was 10 something. I set my alarm. Was it, I can't remember now. But I think it was 10:45. Yeah, that's right. It was 10:40. It was basically 10:46, and there was a news broadcast not long after that. I think it was 10:55, and I saw it. It was Sandra Sully, Channel 10. She had a nice purple shirt on, and she said that there was CNN had said that a plane had crashed into the World Trade Center. And I had no perspective of how big the World Trade Center was. They showed one close-up image of just this black hole in the building and smoke coming out. And I didn't realise how big the building was. I thought it must have been a small plane, like a little four-seater plane or something. And I thought it was some protester or something protesting capitalism after they just had some big G8 or something like that not long before that. And I thought, oh, God, hopefully it's not someone protesting. I hope it's just an accident. And I felt stupid afterwards, but quite a few people thought it was an accident too. I was watching a documentary and they were talking to pilots and people who had to bring in all the planes afterwards, and some of the pilots actually thought it was a small plane and it was an accident, so I wasn't the only person who thought that. I think it's because the alternative was just not the first thing that was going to come to people's heads, people's minds. But I didn't think that much of it, and I just went to bed. And I didn't realise what was really happening. And I got up the next morning, I turned the TV on, and the whole world had changed. It was pretty shocking. I saw that it was a terrorist attack, and I didn't really realise how much time had passed. And I was watching it and I thought it was still happening because they were showing the footage so much. And just when I switched on, they were just showing the first tower when it was on fire, and talking about what had happened. And they were going through the events, but they weren't, I didn't realise that that happened. I thought they were still talking about it. I thought this building was still on fire, and it was like a smaller event than it was. And then the second plane hit, and I didn't know it wasn't live, and I just about jumped out of my skin. I probably yelled. I was, like, oh my God. And it took a few minutes to realise that, oh, it's already happened. This is live. This happened a few hours ago. And then the first tower came down, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I sort of knew, okay. And then the second tower down, I'm like, wow, this all happened in a couple of hours. But for a few minutes, I thought it was happening. That second plane I thought was happening live. But a lot of people did see it live. A lot of people did tune in the morning, and a lot of people were watching at night too. Because I was trying to find the exact time of that broadcast that Sandra Sully did. But they keep blending it in with the other broadcast, because she was on air for like 5 hours covering it all. She was a trooper. They apparently there's a lot of footage that she saw that they didn't air because it was too horrific, so she has to live with that, unfortunately. And I don't know, it was just I just remember the shock of it. And I remember the first thing I did was call my mum and say, can you believe what happened? Can you believe this? And I said I was just watching it. I didn't realise that the second plane wasn't live and everything, and that scared me. And it was just so weird. I remember I had to go into the city that day, and there were rumours that the terrorist plots were originally bigger, and they had planned to attack other cities, including Melbourne. Supposedly they were planning to hit the Rialto, which is I think was our tallest building. And I just remember going into the city the next day. I just remember that day how quiet it was. I went out to the train. No one was talking on the train. Everything was just quiet. Everyone was in shock. And I just remember there's this little stretch that goes over some parks as it sort of turns to go into the city, and you can see the city and it looks really beautiful. I just remember thinking, wow, imagine, it looks so beautiful. What if they'd hit there? Just imagine what that would be like now. It's just, everyone was in shock. And the other thing was just the unity afterwards. You really felt America come together, and it was palpable. And to be reminded of that now with the diversity and the not diversity, the division in America, it just really kind of hit me today. It's like, wow, the difference between what it was like then and what it is now. It's so sad. I don't know if another 9/11 could pull America back together. I don't know if anything could, but I just wanted to do a video. I just wanted to mark the 20th anniversary. I set my alarm for what would be the times that both the planes hit, and I was watching the film because it ran over the time that it would have happened, and I turned the sound off for a minute and gave each plane a minute of silence. I haven't worked out what time the other planes hit, but then you think about the other people who found out on the plane what had happened, so they stopped the terrorists in one plane. The other one hit the Pentagon, and it was seeing that again as well. It's like you didn't know when it was going to stop. I sort of took me, like I said, a few minutes to work out, okay, this all happened hours ago. Nothing happened after the Pentagon. It's over. There's no more. But it just kept being repeated over and over again. I know, they had to explain to children that America wasn't under attack on that level. There weren't planes falling all over the place. It was just because it just was on a loop all the time. It was all people talked about on the news and that for days and days and days, and it was just really surreal. But I don't know, I was watching the film, and you realise, there's the people who died in the planes, there's people who died in the buildings, and then there were all the firemen who went in, who tried to save other people who died. Only 20 people were pulled out. There were some stats at the end of the film which I screen captured. It was pretty, what was it? How many people? 2,790 or something? Come on. 2,000, I'm sure it was 2,700 and something. Okay, I took far too many photos. But thousands died, hundreds and hundreds of police and firemen went in, and only 20 were pulled out of the rubble. And the two guys who were featured in the film were numbers 18 and 19. So they were all pretty much the last that were found. And they had a lot of surgeries. I'm glad they ran the film. I've watched a few documentaries that have just been running. It was about 430 policemen and firemen who went in, and more like 460, and only 20 were recovered. Yeah. I don't know, it's just so weird. It's been 20 years and so much has changed, and I'm not sure if the world's changed for the better. As horrible as that seemed then, all things that have happened since, it's kind of disappointing. Kind of disappointed in humanity. Like at the end of the film, they point out that we saw what humanity can do, the best and the worst. People did this horrible thing, but then people came together over it, and now people are divided. So I don't know how to feel about everything, but 20 years. Wow, so much has changed. It's very surreal. But I'm going to go. I just wanted to do a video to commemorate it, and I just needed to, I got no one to talk to about it. My mum's gone. And it's just sort of surreal. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you remember of September 11. I think everyone has a memory of it. Yeah. Let's hope I don't know if we've learned anything from it, but I mean, we still can. We can still learn from it. So let's hope we still learn something from this and that nothing like that happens again.